Next up is John Ziegler, and then Deborah Baber will be in after.
After waiting for 2 hours and now getting 2 minutes, I'll get right to the point. This board is pretending that for the last 3 months, your emperor, Dr. Levin, has not been against a mask declaration. Now, all of a sudden, we're pretending that masks are everything, even forcing speakers to use masks. I would like the board to take a position. Was Dr. Levin wrong for those 3 months? And if he was this wrong, why has he not been removed? Why has he not been fired for being so catastrophically wrong? Or do you not really believe he was wrong? You're just wearing these masks because it is a signal of your great virtue.
Damn!
Damn. Because for the last 3 months, we have not worn them, and Ventura County has done outstandingly well and continues to do outstandingly well because we are not Los Angeles, we are not New York City, we never were going to be any of those things. Ironically, this is one of the few things Dr. Levin was actually right about. He has been wrong about everything. He is the one who told us we would have 400 to 600 hospitalizations a day. He revised that to 200 to 400 a day. We still haven't reached that in 1 day. We're barely over 200 for the entire ordeal that you guys have put us through. We now are panicked over 51 total hospitalizations in a county with 8 hospitals. Can you people do math? Can you please do basic math and understand where we are on this? This is not a crisis. You, however, have created one. You, in an effort to try to prevent all death, when we've had 43 deaths, have now ended all relevant life. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves. And this will never be forgotten, ever be forgotten. You will all be held accountable eventually, in this life or the next. You all better hope there is no hell, because when you die, that's where you're going. And guess what? You're not going to be dying of COVID either. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, boy.
Yo no uso truco, vuelvo a galleta, soy la mata que te atrapa, nadie se me escapa, ando controlando el mapa. Un saludo a Acapulco, directamente desde el puerto de Vallarta. Para mi gente aquí presente, para el caballero, disfrutando. Un saludo muy sincero, qué bonito perro ese Chihuahua, esto todavía no acaba. Un saludo para mi compa disfrutando la bebida, sigo en la movida, sigo en el flow, traigo el show, lo mejor de lo mejor. Un saludo para todos aquí en el sí señor, mientras saludo a la morena, este flow corre por mis venas, mientras sigues tú grabando, mientras sigo yo cantando, improvisando. Y mi compa del espagueti disfrutando, un lado de Solapo, un lado de la familia de mi compa del Apolo. Un saludo para el Cholo, para mi compa de este lado que trae ese pelo como He-Man. Ya sabrán dónde están. ¿Cómo te llamas, amigo? Un saludo para Leo, puro cotorreo, ya sabes mi compita. Que arriba Acapulco nuevamente para mi amigo de los lindes, para todos los que sigan la chinita que se encuentra acá grabando. Mientras sigo improvisando, ya llegaron esos mangos. A raperos yo los dejo patinando como un carro en el fango, disfrutando de esa copa. He pensado que la vida es corta, una raya más, al tigre no se le nota, ya con esta me despido. Como balas de un bandido, como flechas de Cupido. Un saludo a Acapulco, un saludo para mi amigo Güero, a su familia, a la niña que se encuentra grabando, a la morena disfrutando del aguacate.
It's Lucy and Jeff going for walks and talks, talk about banksters and Bitcoin and COVID and stuff. It's Lucy and Jeff and tacos and kisses. How you doing, Lucy? I'm pretty good. All the taco shops open here. And there's no sharks. So I'm pretty good. I'm in Puerto Vallarta. Actually, I was avoiding this place for like 3 months because there's this guy who was here for like 3 months, and let's just say you don't even really want to shake his hand. It's Josh Sigerson of Weather Alternative Media. But he left now, so I feel safer to bring my dogs around.
Yeah, he's kind of he's really dirty. But I love that intro. And I was just about to say that I can't believe every time you see someone really like getting angry and going right up into a cop's face or a politician's face and like just like expressing their emotions. Almost for the last month, all I've seen is women doing it, which is kind of cool in a sense that like, wow, like I'll give some props, you know, like a lot of guys, oh, you must be a misogynist. Listen, my wife's the toughest person I ever met in my life. There's some tough women out there, but they shouldn't have to be that tough in general. In general, that's sort of our job. But most guys have just like disappeared. So when I saw that guy, and I loved it, it was in that place in California that I really made fun of. I don't know who the health minister or whatever they call him is there. The guy's the dopiest looking guy on earth. He's like your grade 6 physics teacher. And he's like, okay, so what we're gonna have to do is I'm going to force you all to close for like 3 months. It's like, dude, if you didn't have like the cops and the army behind you, no one would care anything what you said. So I love that this particular outrage, this particular guy just going off was on that guy. I thought that was awesome. And that's what we need a lot more of, by the way. And it actually does make a huge difference. Like I even posted some girl in Florida the other day. And someone in Florida said, wow, this really inspired me because I lived there. I didn't know there was other people out there like me. And it's like I've said for a long time, you can change the world. Every single person can. We actually have to do something. So hopefully a lot more people start doing stuff like that. And actually I've kind of changed my perspective a little bit on how dire of this situation this is. Lucy, that's my girl. Muy bien, Lucy. Muy bien. So a couple of videos ago, I'm like, I'm fine if they kill all these people. But you know, I've kind of had another kind of realization. And it is that in the actual real world, things aren't as bad as they look. If you watch television, I don't even watch it at all. People just send me stuff. That's basically where most of our stuff comes from, by the way. So thank you to like all the people who send me stuff, because I don't even look for stuff. It's pretty amazing. I've got the biggest research team around. Well, I'm sure the CIA's got bigger ones, but, and I don't pay a penny for it, which is amazing. Actually, I wonder if I can figure out a way to pay for it. That'd be pretty cool, right? But my point is, I don't watch anything, but enough people send me stuff that I'm like, whoa, the world's really screwed up. But then I go out in the world and everything's pretty fine. There's a few brainwashed slaves with masks, but, and I'm sure there's some really bad places, mostly in the US, but you know, so that's a bit of my sort of epiphany or my message today is, if you're getting at least some of your info from the television or from newspapers or magazines or any of the mainstream media, which is all propaganda, and you're kind of depressed, all you need to do to get rid of your depression is go like this. Isn't that amazing? I'm so depressed. Hey, have you ever done this? Turn it off? Because it's not as bad as it looks. Well, at least not here in Mexico. I don't know, because I'm not in the US. So I don't know how bad or good it is. But I've seen actually a ton of great media stuff with Sorry, we got kids chasing Lucy. And those kids, I don't know. I'm fine with them, but just don't touch me. But I don't know, like, I've seen a lot of stuff, and I actually go to CNN.com, which is hilarious. It's just like going to the National Enquirer in the 80s, right? It's like, what stupid, crazy are they saying, right? And a lot of the stuff on CNN is actually, oh, look at this, there's people on the beach. They're clearly not listening to the clearly omnipotent. There's no one who knows more on Earth than Dr. Anthony Fauci. Oh, Fauci. Put Fauci in front of me. You know, that would be a real debate, right? Put that little in front of me. And watch the fun I have. Watch the fun. And watch how he cries. And he cries and he cries. He tries to run away. And all I do is go, what about this? Hey, midget. What about this? Oh, I thought you're trying to distract me with the truth. Anyway. But the biggest problem is there's too many sheep in this world.
Breaking news. Orange man bad.
Orange man bad.
Orange man.
Orange man.
And basically all I'm trying to do is find the place with the least amount of sheep. This guy seems cool. He doesn't seem too scared of the COVID-19 with his family. Being a real man. Should have shook his hand. He's a hero. Well, hero is a well overused word, but it's kind of sad. A real man today is almost like a hero. But man, the stuff rolling in right now, I thought actually it lulled. There was like a few days ago, I was like, I think we're in a lull. No. But now there's some really good stuff coming up. So here's one. States that didn't lock down have 75% lower COVID death rates than those that did. This article says a new analysis by the Sentinel, a Kansas nonprofit, compares the 42 states that shut down most of their economies with the 8 that did not. The latter group includes mostly rural states with some small metropolitan areas, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Wyoming, and Utah. Sorry, we got a little chihuahua barking at us here. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, he's smaller than me. I don't mind that. Oh, it's so cute. Anyway, back to this article. It says, private employment on average fell by 7.8% between May and in the last year in these states, while plunging 13.2% in the others. Rural state economies generally rely more on essential services, essential in quotes, like agriculture and food production. Yeah, food's kind of essential. And some industries like energy and hospitality would have shed jobs regardless of the lockdowns. Still, private job losses were higher in states that locked down, like Colorado, 9.5%, compared to economically, I don't even know how to say that actually. I actually hate that word, economics. It's weird. Economically, is that how you say it? Similar ones that didn't, like Utah, 4.6%. Yet per capita COVID-19. Yet per capita COVID fatalities in states that stayed open were on average about 75% lower than those that locked down. And then the article goes to kind of like try to think of reasons why that would be. I think the article is kind of wrong, but let's just see what they said. One reason is that deaths in most states, regardless of whether they lock down, have been concentrated in nursing home facilities and minority communities that have higher rates of underlying health conditions and multi-generational housing. This is a main reason hospitalizations and deaths continue to surge in states like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and Massachusetts long after lockdown took effect. Actually, what I would say here is, we know that in states like New York and Illinois, they were bumping up the death figures like crazy. So this is where the article goes a bit wrong. But it is interesting. They actually take their stats and their figures, and they show that if you believe them, which you should never, ever do, that if your state didn't lock down in the US, if you live in the USSA, and if you do, I'm so sorry, that there's hardly any deaths, and if you live in states that lock down, everyone's dying. And we're seeing so many weird, just sort of stats coming up, because I don't think this thing even really exists, really. But here's one from France. School children don't spread coronavirus, French study shows. This is actually on Bloomberg. Again, like, this is a couple times there's actually been pretty close to the truth on Bloomberg. Like Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg himself he's a serial killer psychopath. At minimum. Like, this guy is sick. But he's had a few articles up on his stuff. I don't know if he's not paying attention. He's doing too much blow with all the hookers. I don't know what he's doing. I don't pay attention. I don't care. But this is twice now. He's had on like pretty good information on his website. Like, Michael, decide which team you're on. Are you going to be with the globalists and a complete liar, or are you going to be a good guy? I think you're going to be a bad guy. But just decide, because you can't be both. It just gets confusing to people. But this article says, school kids don't appear to transmit the new coronavirus to peers or teachers, a French study found, weighing in on the crucial topic of children's role in propagating COVID-19. COVID-19 doesn't exist. How
dare you?
This is so insane to watch. But it's so typical of everything I've seen here on this earth that most people just go along with whatever's going along. Whatever's going on. So you got all these people doing all these studies and saying this and saying that about something that doesn't exist. And here's one. Here's apparently, I guess this is the Canadian health minister. I'm not going to say too much about her or him or whatever it is. This thing, this kitten, this creature. Here's what he or she has to say about the idea of generating natural immunity. It's actually not something that should be undertaken.
You know, the idea of sort of generating natural immunity is actually not something that is not something that I think should be undertaken. I personally think that, you know, we, as the chief medical officers, we would, you know, really be extremely cautious about that kind of approach. You never know if you, even as a young person, might get severely sick or get into the ICU. So it's not a concept that should be supported.
Sorry, I couldn't hear over the party going on the beach in Puerto Vallarta. Everyone came out of their houses after Josh left. I don't know if you noticed that. I saw another article. I actually go to CNN to figure out what propaganda they're going to do, right? So here's another one. Why meat processing plants have become COVID-19 hotbeds. What do you think about that, Lucy? Well, you know, I like those tacos, but I don't like that factory farming too much. Or Bill Gates, screw him. But this article is trying to explain why all the meat processing plants are shutting down. Well, I already told you like a month ago. I think it was, what's her name? Really Gracious or something? She actually dug it up, or what was one of the other? There's so many awesome people coming out of the woodwork. But anyway, they showed how Bill Gates has actually been investing in Beyond Meat or whatever it's called, and
Bill Gates worked to end livestock production and pushed lab-grown meat. This coming from the fine folks at activistpost.com. Bill Gates and food giant Tyson heavily backed lab-grown meat research, as the U.S., of course, faces unprecedented meat shortages due to processing plants going offline in, of course, response to the COVID outbreak. A long-standing globalist agenda to halt meat consumption is now being fulfilled, like all the other police state dreams are being fulfilled just magically.
Like this guy, Bill Gates, Kill Gates. You know, I've seen a few people, they're like, listen, one guy can't be this evil. Listen, every single person knows at least one or two total assholes who want to screw up everything. They're called sociopaths or psychopaths, or they're just kind of screwed up. So what makes you think that a guy couldn't get billions or trillions of dollars because he's in the right club and he's just insane? Well, that's Kill Gates. Hey, put Kill in front of me too, by the way. Put Fauci or Kill Gates right in front of me and watch what happens. First of all, Lucy, they won't even have ankles left. And it's not because she's a really angry dog, but she senses and smells evil stuff. Yeah, it's true. You put him in front of me, the ankles will get torn to shreds. And then watch what I do to him. Put him in front of me. Where are these guys? Whatever. Here's another article from CNN though, and I thought this was really interesting because this is kind of what I was talking about for like years. Remember when I said they're going to build that wall to keep Americans in? And a lot of people laughed. You're crazy. The U.S. is the land of the free. It's the home of the brave. How can you be so crazy? Well, here's the article from CNN. Restrictions leave U.S. travelers high and dry. Apparently people in the U.S. can barely go anywhere. And I'm only going to tell you this. Wow, the party's going on here. I'm only telling you this because if you're watching this video, you're probably cool. If I was talking to your average American, I'd be like, don't leave the US ever. Stay there, please. But Mexico actually has, they haven't closed their borders at all. So if you actually wanted to come here, and I'm only telling you guys, okay? Don't spread this on any mainstream channel. I don't want any normal Americans to know that Mexico is awesome. But only for you guys. And just so you know, if you want to move down here, we got a bunch of people who are helping out with that kind of stuff. Just go to dogvigilante.com/Mexico. But yeah, so this CNN article says restrictions leave US travelers high and dry. In downtown Buffalo, New York, crossing the border into Ontario, Canada, used to be as easy as driving 1 mile across the Peace Bridge. Oh, the Peace Bridge, over the Niagara River. But that's now a forbidden route. In the coronavirus era, New York residents and out-of-state road trippers aren't allowed to cross the border for leisure travel. U.S. citizens have been shut out of their neighboring country to the north and a slew of nations around the world. The latest travel news affecting Americans. The European Union is considering blocking travelers from areas with severe COVID-19 outbreaks after it opens its borders on July 1st. Since the United States has more confirmed coronavirus cases than anywhere else in the world, with numbers increasing in some states each day, U.S. travelers are unlikely to be allowed in anytime soon. EU diplomats or a diplomat told the Communist News Network the U.S.'s chances are close to zero. With their infection rates, not even they can believe in that possibility. Oh, where's Lucy? Where's Lucy? Where's Lucy? I saw a dog come running by. Oh, there's Lucy. Okay. You're okay, Lucy. It's okay. He just wants to play, Lucy. It's okay. It's okay, Lucy. Vamos, Lucy. Yeah, I don't get it. They're trying to play or they're trying to fight? Because I'll rip your ankle to shreds. Let's go, Lucy. It's okay. So, basically everything I've been saying for the last 10 years is coming true. I don't even know where I am. Oh, Lucy, where did I start walking? Oh, CC Nero, there we are. So, this could be a lot of what we're talking about at the Dollar Vigilante Summit coming up on July 1st and 2nd in just a couple days, in case you don't pay attention. Hola. So many people scared of the COVID here. And really, this is going to be, I think, your last chance to get out of the US. Like, you know, people said 5 years ago when I said the wall is going to keep Americans in that I was crazy. And now most people are like, oh, you're kind of right on that. And what I'm saying now is, I think you got one last chance here in the next few months to get out. By the way, I've seen a bunch of comments from people, and they're guys, and they're like, listen, I'm going to stay here and fight. My family's been here for like hundreds of years. I lived here my whole life. I'm not leaving. And that's totally cool. Just so you know, I'm totally on board with you. But I'm just letting people know if they don't want to be in the craziest battle of their lives in FEMA camps, probably get killed, then you might want to leave. And it's totally cool. Like if there's a bunch of big guys who got guns, which is awesome. And I hear the gun purchase rate is crazy in the US right now. It's always been pretty high, but extra crazy right now. So good. I fully support you guys. I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying every guy should leave the US. I'm saying if you want to, let's say you're a little older or, you know, that sort of thing, and you don't really want to get into a huge battle, war, be in the FEMA camps, all that kind of stuff, then just go to dollarvigilante.com/Mexico and get out. But for the rest of the guys, we'll be supporting you huge. I might even go up myself. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm getting older, but I'm on the stem cells, so. I got Lucy too. Oh, I got Polo too. I got my whole tribe. Polo, Lucy. Yeah. You want to go fight the US government? Oh, you're talking my language now. So anyway. So we have our summit coming up. And like I said, you don't have to watch the whole thing all live for 2 full days. I'll be there the whole 2 days. But there's an option that you can just get all the videos afterwards. And that's really like, I don't know many people who could sit in front of their tablet or their phone or their computer, sorry, speaking Spanish, computadora, all day for 2 full days. If you can, great. You have a way better attention span than me. But what I would do, like if I wasn't me, if I was you, I'd be like, okay, I'll pay for it and watch it over the next week or so. But just so you know, I think we have it enabled for questions and answers from every speaker. And that includes people like Ed Bugos, who's like, if you don't know who he is, he keeps it quiet. They'll never put him on the mainstream media. He's the smartest economics and financial guy in the world. Doug Casey, most of you guys know him. You get to actually ask some questions. If you, I think if you pay for the VIP, you get to actually ask questions of all of us, including myself, and I'll be there for 2 full days. Now, we obviously can't answer every question. It's looking like it's going to be well over 1,000 people, might even be 2,000, or might even be more at the end of the day. But we'll try to answer as many as we can, especially the important questions that we think are important. So if you've been wanting to get some questions answered, you've been wanting to find out some information on what to do, we've got about 15, I haven't counted them all up, but it's about 15 of the smartest guys in the world that will give you their advice on what to do right now, and you can even ask them questions. So it's at dollarvigilante.com no, it's tdbsummit.com. Can't even keep track. I've been all over the place having too much fun down here in Mexico, but you can go check it out. What do you think, Lucy? Well, I found something here. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna shake off the sand. I think it's like a old crab or something. Yeah, it's not tacos. Lucy, we got tacos. Lucy, let's go for tacos. Well, until you got the tacos, I'm gonna stick with these sandy crabs. Make me sneeze a little bit. What do you think, Polo? Yeah, he's gonna eat them too. Well, you guys do what you gotta do. Yeah, Lucy's gonna take it back to our table. I think she's gonna like the tacos more than the sandy shrimp. But you do what you gotta do. Lucy's gonna do what she gotta do.
Tío, Lucy es camarada.
Yes, sir.
It's a San Cameron. It's not as good as a taco. I'll take what I can get.
You've seen the Dollar Vigilante on mainstream media trolling the fake news, and seen Jeff Berwick travel inside places like Venezuela and Cuba to expose the truth about what's happening in those socialist paradises. To get even more, make sure to subscribe to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter to receive 2 full 30-plus page issues from the Dollar Vigilante each month, plus market alerts on precious metals, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and gold mining stocks by going to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. Click on the link in the notes below or go to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe to find out more.